define polar and non-polar attention. This is crucial, so pay close attention. There are 3 main steps to using it, and if you follow it, all the energy you devote to that negative attention will dissipate, leaving you more energy to feed the positive version of reality you want to create. Let's talk about how this works. The first step is acceptance. When we are in a situation that feels like an abyss, that we are at rock bottom, we need to accept that this has happened. When we accept something, we can't be in resistance. You can't be in resistance and acceptance at the same time. Acceptance is the antidote to resistance. So please, try to understand this. We are not accumulating energy. The only energy being used is to redirect, to get out of the way. Your goals really want to manifest. You're just in the way. You just need to get out of the way for them to come into existence. We start with total acceptance of the current situation, whatever problems are in your life right now, whatever you feel stuck in, or whatever your worst nightmare is. Imagine that this has happened. You're totally on board with it happening, and you see how life goes on despite it happening. You're no longer worried about your worst nightmare. You're no longer haunted by it. This is absolutely fundamental because most people think, if I accept the worst-case scenario, won't I be attracting it into my life? No, you won't. On the contrary, if you accept the worst-case scenario, you will no longer be feeding it with the energy of your resistance. If you continue to resist it, you will continue to feed it, which makes it more likely to happen. But if you just accept it and get out of the way, that's where neutral attention comes in. Acceptance is neutral attention. We can't change the present moment, no matter how hard we try, because the present is constantly changing. When you try to grasp it, it has already become the past. There's no changing this present moment. What you can do, what is in your power, is to choose what you would like in the next moment. We tend to fool ourselves into believing that if something happens, we've failed. We get attached. We identify with the things we do. Come up with the worst-case scenario and accept it completely. That way, you reduce all the importance. The second step is to realize how this setback or unfavorable event could potentially be a blessing in disguise. Any event that happens is a neutral event. We make it positive, negative, or neutral by the nature of our attention. Instead of looking at it as, this is bad, we can look at it as, how can this potentially be an advantage? How can this be good in my life now? What do I mean by a blessing in disguise? Sometimes something happens to protect us. Maybe there's something bad in that situation that God or the universe is preventing us from experiencing. Just reach a point of acceptance and understand that it really happened. When you reach a more neutral state, you can start to think about how this could potentially be positive. The final step is to continually redirect our attention to what is desired. If I'm in a state of total equanimity and acceptance, I'll have my attention freed up to completely choose what is desired. When you become really good at doing this, you will become unstoppable. Nothing can stop you. This process determines which life path you follow, which quantum event manifests, which quantum event you experience in your life, and it all has to do with your attention. There's a good reason why many ancient cultures and religions talk about attention, about paying attention to something, about observing something, being in a mode of observation. Here, we're combining both. We use non-polar attention and then go into acceptance. This is neither good nor bad. We just accept that it happened. Then we start to think about the possible blessings in disguise. And finally, we come to the positive mode when we are in a state of equanimity. This process is one of the most powerful tools we can use to create the reality we desire. As a co-creator of reality, attention is your most powerful tool. When you learn to direct it effectively, you can manifest the life you want. So, the message I want to leave you with today is, if you feel bad about yourself today, allow yourself to accept that you're feeling bad, and once you're in a state of equanimity, then you can focus on what's desired instead. But if you try to hide, repress, or suppress what you're feeling, it will come back to haunt you in the future. At this point, whatever you're doing can be a form of resistance. Even if you're just creating positive affirmations in the mirror, you're actually resisting feeling something by saying the affirmation. When you learn to accept, redirect, and choose what is desired, you are releasing energy that was previously wasted on resistance. You are using your attention effectively to create the reality you want. Remember, to accept is not to resign yourself to defeat, but to recognize the present reality. It is in this space of acceptance that our vision becomes clearer, and the journey to what we want reveals itself. When we embrace the worst-case scenario, we release the energy that was previously wasted fighting against it. And that's when our attention becomes the driving force for change. We redirect our focus to what we want, and reality reconfigures itself in response. As co-creators of our own reality, we are endowed with the ability to choose our path, shape our experiences, and define our destinies. The true transformation begins when we choose to direct our attention to what really matters in our lives. Move forward with confidence and purpose, for you are the architect of your own